Diseases don't exist. Sicknesses don't exist. It's just a systematic reaction to what's inside of your body. It's always going to be a systemic reaction. So stop thinking, oh, I'm sick, I have a cold, and start thinking, okay, my body is trying to clear something. All of these symptoms that I'm experiencing that I think are symptoms are literally just body processes to heal myself, because the body is a self-healing organism. So it's Christmas time, you're around a lot of people. Of course you're around a lot of people. You're eating foods that you don't normally eat. People are coughing, people are sneezing, people are stressed. And that's going to impact your health. And it's going to impact the way that you feel. It's going to impact your sore throat that you get from the next morning. It's going to impact the sniffling, you know. And those things didn't just happen. And they're not just, oh, I have a cold now. No, your body was introduced to something that can't get cleared properly, or that wasn't supposed to be in it. A foreign invader, we could call them bacteria, we could call them fungi, we could call them parasites, whatever you want to call it. It's dealing with something that is trying to clear out of of the system now, you know? And what we do as a people, as a society, is we'll see the symptom, think the symptom's the problem instead of what's really causing the symptom, and then we'll treat the symptom by taking Benadryl or cough syrup. So we stifle the cough when the cough is trying to get out the toxins that we put inside of our body in the first place. So that's what we're gonna have to do, right? We're gonna have to first recognize, okay, I'm not just sick, right? I'm not just sick, I'm just clearing something. This is perfectly normal. If you were to get bitten by a snake, you would go into some type of process, systematic process to try to slow the poison down. If you were to eat poisonous food, you would go through the similar or the same process. It's damn near the same, right? So one thing for sure, if we change our approach to how we're seeing these diseases or we're seeing these sicknesses, that's the key way to first steps first, right? Acknowledgement. We need to acknowledge it. We need to be aware that the symptom isn't the problem. The second thing, you know, all these foods that we're eating, they're clearly making us sick, right? You're introducing these foods to your system. Your body isn't able to clear out the byproducts of the food. You could damn near eat anything. Doesn't mean that you're supposed to eat it. But whenever you eat meat, there is a byproduct. After you eat the meat, it gets broken down into purines, and then the purines get turned into a byproduct, a waste byproduct called uric acid. Your body can clear uric acid. It's not inherently bad. It's only bad when you have too much of it. The problem is when you're eating at these festivities and you're eating at these places, people are leaving meat thawing out all overnight, you know, in room temperature. Bacteria, that's bacteria galore. You know, they're not properly preparing the foods, they're not properly cooking. Most people don't know anything about food science or food nutrition or food preparation. So we're preparing these foods wrong, then we're eating too much of the wrong foods, and then we end up sick, and then we think it's just a common cold because it's wintertime. No, it's not the weather. The weather may be assisting. Sure, you can, if you stay outside for long hours, yeah, you'll get sick. If you stay outside in the cold, if you go to sleep right now without a blanket, you wake up and it's freezing cold, yeah, you might get some pneumonia, but that's only because your body's trying to save you from something. The same way that if you eat some toxic foods right now, your body's trying to save you from something. It's not just the weather, and it's not just wintertime, you know? So that's the first step. There's byproducts like too much gluten in these wheats that we're eating, and all these macaroni and these pastas and these rice, all the rice that we just ate celebrating Christmas with our loved ones, is starches galore. And now we're eating all these starches. We have gluten sensitivities. If you're in America, the gluten is highly processed, right? They're getting processed with these petroleum derivatives. So and they're getting soaked in hexane. So it's like these you could look hexane up, and it's a petroleum derivative. It's a neurotoxin. It can make you have allergic symptoms like sneezing, coughing, gut irritation. And on top of that, to top it all off, all the foods that we just ate have GMO cropping to them. And on top of that, they're monocropped. So not only are you getting genetically modified foods that are completely foreign to your DNA just doesn't know what to do with that. You're also getting crops that the soil is so raped and the soil is so tampered with that there's not even mineralization left in it. So you just ate some empty calories. You just ate some pesticides and herbicides, that they sprayed on there, insecticides that they sprayed on there that's going to mess your gut bacteria up, right? So your healthy gut bacteria that's supposed to protect you from all of these contaminants that just came into your body. Because remember, you don't just get sick. Something is inside you that needs to be cleared out, whether it be contaminants like bacteria, fungi, parasites, or whether it be byproducts like the uric acid, like the gluten, like the aldehydes from the sugars. And if that doesn't work, what happens? You have a systematic reaction to try to contain it. How do you clear these things out? Well, first steps first, right? You can do, before we even get into herbs, because I know a lot of people, they immediately either go to medicines, over-the-counter medicines to suppress the symptoms, or they'll go to herbs. All right, I'll take these herbs, I'll just eat a piece of fruit and I should be okay. I'll drink some orange juice. No. First things first, you're going to hydrate. Most people are dehydrated. You just ate a bunch of dehydrating fruits. You just ate a bunch of dehydrating foods. So, first step, drink about 48 to 64 fluid ounces, right? Get your hydration on. Make sure you're flushing your system out. The second step is you're going to want to poop. You're going to want to poop. Now, that's going to be step number one for a lot of things. That's going to be step number one for a lot of things. Your colon contains about 10 to 15% of your energy. Your gut, from your mouth to your anus, contains 95% of your immune system. That's what they call the immune system, the lymphatic system. And your gut contains 95% of it. Your gut is your mouth to your anus. So first, you're going to hit the exit point. Get that stuff out of you, right? And with the colon cleanse, I have a colon cleanse. You can pick me up for it. Clearly, a lot of people know that. But if you need to, if you're in a rush, right? I'll give you the other option, because I rather, give you options. I rather give you, this is for the people, and the information should be free. Cascara Sagrada, right? Cascara Sagrada is an herb. It's a brilliant herb. It's a miracle worker. You take a little bit of Cascara Sagrada, about 1 to 2 teaspoons, it will have you shitting. And that's exactly what you want. Whenever you feel a sickness or cold or anything like that, understand that's your body trying to clear something. What is your clearance systems in your body? Your clearance systems are always going to be your organ systems, right? The exit points of your organ systems is going to be your kidneys and your colon. That is the primary exit systems, with the addition to your skin that helps push stuff out, and your lungs that helps you breathe out toxins. All right, you getting me? You following me? So first step is hydration. Second step is pooping. You need to poop. You know, take a colon cleanse. Cascara Sagrada is a good one. There's also there's also senna pods or senna leaves. You know, there's, if you need fiber, there's psyllium husk. Those are 3 great herbs that'll help you go to the bathroom. On top of that, if you want to heal with the elements, you could take magnesium citrate. That'll make you go to the bathroom. Any one of those. You want to poop. It may come out as diarrhea. That's okay. That just means that you had inflammation inside your gut to begin with, and now you're just cleansing it out. Now you're just getting rid of the inflammation that was already there. It's not making you sick per se. You know, because herbs aren't something that you want to take all the time. Yes, they actually do have certain chemicals in them that make you go to the bathroom, or that make you feel nausea, because they're stimulating something that's so similar to the disease itself, or so similar to what we call disease, that it makes you trigger and increase your body's natural systematic defense mechanism to control the sickness, to control the fatigue, and to control that weakness that the body is feeling, so it can pump it out quicker. So it's a good thing. Herbs are a great thing, but you don't want to just go to the herbs straight up. You want to make sure you're hydrating. Cool. Once you're hydrated, cleanse out that colon. You can do it both simultaneously. Just make sure you're getting electrolytes as well with it, right? Your colon is something that's very dependent on hydration and electrolytes. You know, you need potassium, you need magnesium, you need sodium. A lot of people, they think that, I see a lot of people nowadays, they're avoiding salt like the bubonic plague. Like, salt is bad. And when you're low in sodium, you get headaches. You don't have proper electrolyte balance. So then your colon gets dehydrated. Once your colon gets dehydrated, you lose the sense to go to the bathroom, because your vagus nerve is running all the way in your stomach, all the way up to your brain stem, and you're not stimulating that nigga no more. You're not stimulating him anymore. And that's going to be a problem, because you need that. So what salt does is, salt tells the body, hey, make sure we retain a little bit of this water in the colon, so that, you know, we can get things going. So by the time it goes up the ascending colon on the right side and goes through the transverse colon, it starts taking out the moisture and then retaining that moisture. So then by the time it gets to the rectum, it can shoot that thing out. But so much of us are so dehydrated and are lacking electrolytes, or taking in the wrong salts, that our poop is like pebbles, or our poop is hard, or we're only going once a day. And that won't work. That's a recipe for disaster. Because then what happens is, if you're not pooping, the main detoxifier of your body, which is the liver, is going to get taxed, because your colon isn't emptying the waste from the contaminants or the byproducts from which you ate. So then it's getting stuck inside the body, and then your colon is going to send it up the bile ducts back into the liver. So your liver then has to detoxify the same toxins it already detoxified and send it back down to the colon. And it's a never-ending cycle if you're constipated. That is why the second step would be to detoxify your colon. Go ahead and do a colon cleanse. Go ahead and poop. And I don't want you to just poop once and think, oh, well, you know, I went off. No, a proper colon cleanse should be about 8 to 10 times. You could even be pooping like 20 times in a day. 10 to 20 times in a day. Because we're so backed up. And I promise you, you poop 10 to 20 times in a day. By the next morning, that colon is nothing like it was before. Nothing. The next step, you know, 2 birds with 1 stone. So long as your kidneys are healthy, you drink that water, you should be going off. You should be seeing pale yellow urine. If it's not pale yellow, then we may have a problem. You could be overhydrating, which is hard to do and it's rare, or you could not be filtering. If that's the case, you know, you want to drink certain herbs like nettle. Nettle leaf is a great herb for that, you know. Parsley is a great herb for the kidneys. Eating lots of fruits and vegetables. Grapes, excellent for the kidneys. Eating things like apples, fruits. Fruits, if you're feeling under the weather, you're feeling cold, you're feeling sickness, you got that itching in your throat now. Your body has been compromised. There's something going on in the gut. And the first place you should look is in your gut, right? We're talking about that soreness, that sore throat feeling, that, oh, it's spreading everywhere. Well, it's not just that someone was sick and it just spreading it to you. No, you had something going on inside you in the first place. If you put a completely healthy individual, I'm talking about health is pristine, in a room full of sick people, yeah, they may not feel as vibrational, but they're not walking out of that room sick. Mentally, if they stay in there long enough, yeah, it's contagious. And that's how energy works. Sometimes y'all be around these low vibrational people with all this drama and all this stress, and their vibration is getting onto your vibration, and then suddenly you don't feel as bright as you were when you walked into the room. You're feeling a little down because you just heard that person complain too much. And if that's the case, then, you know, separate yourself. You know, put yourself in that pyramid of love, and, you know, because that has so much to do with it as well. Your body can't tell the difference between physical stress, mental stress, emotional stress, social stress, whatever kind of stress. It's stress. Stress is stress. And if you're dealing with stress, limit it, because that's really the number one cause of disease. It's not mucus, it's not sugar, it's stress. Everything will come down and simplify down to stress. And in these stressed environments, you stop going to the bathroom, because going to the bathroom is a rest and then digest autonomic nervous system. You know, you're resting and digesting. You're not fight or flighting. You're not running away from a stampede or, you know, starving in a famine, because then you're not going to poop. Your body's going to hold on to every single ounce of nutrients that it can and feed off of that thing. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to increase your citrus fruits like crazy, right? Citrus fruits are astringent. Astringent means it's pulling stuff out of you, you know, it's going to get into your cells, it's going to pull stuff out of you. On top of that, lots of citrus fruit, right? Like seeded oranges, key limes, organic seeded lemons. Make sure they're organic, because lemons are way too processed to just be eating them straight up. You know, you got your grapefruits. Any kind of citrusy fruit. You got your grapes. Make sure they're seeded and organic too. Make sure you avoid Apeel, or you avoid those brands. I think it's Bilinguits or something like that. There's a new brand out. Terrible brand. Super processed fruits. Like, it looks plastic. Make sure you avoid those brands and get you some blueberries. Get you some organic grapes. If you can't find seeded, at least get them organic. And then you eat that, and you eat handfuls of it, and you eat it throughout the day. Eat it until the sun goes down. Then you can have your first meal. And when you're having your first meal, don't go crazy on the grains. Don't go crazy on the meats, because those create byproducts that make you sick. Those create byproducts that causes your body to have to use more resources that it's already using to clear it out. You don't want to have to use any more resources than is already being used for that sore throat of yours, or for that stomach pain, or for that cough or that sneeze that you have going on. You just want to ride clean. You want to ride, you want a clean ride to feeling better and back on 100%. If you can't do fruits, at least do the intermittent fasting, which is a good substitute. But everyone can do fruits. At least some lemon water throughout the day with a little sprinkle of salt, just to make sure that you're still getting your electrolytes. And then by the end of the day, you have that one meal. Make sure it's big enough. Make sure it's not a really dainty small meal, thinking that you're being healthy, but really you're just starving yourselves of nutrients, because you have to get enough nutrients in order to have the things that you need to make sure your body handles this process like it's supposed to. If you're not eating enough, that's not healthier. In fact, it's sicker, because now you have less nutrients to work with. And that's what food is. It's fuel. Not anything. It's not, I'm better than you, you're better than me, I ate a little bit, you ate a lot. It's not that. It's fuel. You don't put enough gas in the engine, you don't reach your destination. You put too much gas in your engine, you flood your engine. You feel me? That's all it is. I said gas in the engine. You know what I meant. I'm not a car guy, but that's what I would do. If I were to wake up with a sore throat, if I were to wake up with a cold, first thing I'm doing is grabbing some warm water. Don't drink icy water. It just makes the body have to work harder to heat that water up so that it can convert into what it needs to, so your cells can absorb it. Fruits like cucumbers, lemons, berries, watermelons, or any kind of melon that has H3O2, structured water, CMOS, H3O2, structured water, so your body has to spend less time processing it so it can get absorbed directly into the cells. And what we're dealing with is somewhat of a what's the word? It starts with the C. A coagulation of the cells. The cells get too stuffy. They can't breathe. They can't get in their oxygen. They can't get in their glucose. Or they're imploding on themselves and pooping on themselves and peeing on themselves, and they can't clean out. And then you get stuffy, because then your body has to use serine and threonine to produce more mucus so that it can hold any kind of sickness or bacteria or byproducts together, so that it can contain it and do what they need to do with it to help your ass. That's really what's going on. Your body, this didn't happen to you. You did this to yourself. And rather, you're doing it to you. Consistently, right here in the now. And now your body is just fixing it. No. Go ahead. Drink your lemon water. Eat your oranges. Eat your blueberries. If you need to have that one meal a day, if you can survive it, don't. Just eat fruits. You won't die. I promise you. We have enough fat cells to burn off to the point where we won't die. Your body will start eating away at the toxins. It'll start getting hydrated. It'll start breaking down whatever it's containing. It'll break down the mucus that's containing whatever it's containing, and that'll exit your body. But you have to be able to poop and pee properly. You know? What else you can do is make sure you steam, make sure you sweat. You know, the skin is another eliminating toxin. Make sure you breathe. So going on any kind of walks, doing any kind of breath work, doing anything that's going to make you breathe more is going to help accelerate that healing so that your throat stays calm. Oregano oil. What else? There's some really good oils. Elderberry, oregano oil, thyme. You know, those are oils that, black seed oil. Those, you take some black seed oil while your throat is sore, or black cumin seeds tea, and that will knock the soreness right out. It will knock the soreness right out. I love black seed oil. I give it to anybody that's feeling a little tickle in their throat. Because it knocks the oil right. It knocks the sickness, and knocks whatever they're feeling. That tingling knocks that thing right out. Immediately. Take about a teaspoon or two. You know? It'll sting like hell. But it'll knock that thing out. And then your voice just sounds cool. You know, same thing with oregano oil. You know, take a squeeze of oregano oil. Just take it to that. Don't put it in water. Don't put it in water, because then you have to bear the stinging even more for longer. That black seed oil, pour it straight back. That oregano oil, pour it straight back. And then drink water right after. Some warm water. It'll knock that tickling right out. And it's awesome. Yeah, moral of the story is we got to stop looking at the sickness as the problem. The sickness isn't the problem. What caused the sickness? What caused it? Is it really the contaminants, or is it the fact that we lack the proper preparation to deal with the contaminants? And that's what we have to look at. Was I hydrated? Was I sleeping enough? Was I eating the proper things? Was I in a state of stress? You know? Before we even look at any, this person got me sick, that's not how it works. Was I doing the right things before this happened? If that's the case, and if you're honest with yourself, and that's truly the case, then you go into you look into different avenues. But for 99% of people, that's not going to be the case. And you would know. You would have a quote-unquote chronic disease, which is really just stage 3, stage 4 degeneration of the cells, because you ignored the symptoms for so long that they manifested into something greater that is going to call and demand for your attention. And that's really what happens. You know, when diseases get into this... When diseases manifest into something greater, that's because we ignored it for so long. And it's easy and helpful. You get help from the pharmaceutical companies when you're taking these Robitussin and you're taking these Pepto-Bismols and you're cleansing out your gut that way. But really, it's just systemically easing what your body is trying to do. So instead of your body cleaning up the mess, you're giving it something that's saying, hey, hold on. Don't stop. Because I don't want to cough right now. Coughing is uncomfortable. So then it's like, oh, okay. It's going to be really uncomfortable in 10 years from now when this problem manifests and grows and enriches and comes back and kicks your ass. And then the body really has to try and kick into overdrive to try to contain the problem. That's really what's going on. So, to end this off, make sure you're drinking your water. Make sure you're not overdoing it with the sugars. Make sure you're not overdoing it with the meats, because they have byproducts that your body's going to have to kick into overdrive. Make sure you're staying warm. Make sure you eat your fruits, because fruits are healing. Fruits are hydrating. Make sure with whatever foods that you're eating, you have the side of vegetables, because vegetables have those chemicals and minerals in them that's not only going to fuel your detoxification, but they also have certain chemicals that they label as anti-nutrients that are really good for your immune system, that boosts your immune system and kicks it into overdrive and pulls those toxins or those byproducts out of the body. But you don't want to, the first thing that you do, even if the problem is right here in your throat, that tickling in your throat, it's the colon. Because they taught us this in middle school. The start of digestion is right here on the tongue. The end of digestion is right there in your ass. That the exit point is the anus, the start is the mouth. If we drink things like Cascara Sangrada, if we drink bitter herbs, what do? First of all, they're bitter. They're going to make us go, ah. But when you drink bitter herbs, they stimulate something in the salivary glands, which is connected to the lymph nodes right? The lymphatic system is our immune system. It pumps out all the toxins. It pumps out all of the bad things that we don't want in our body, and it pushes them out through the urinary tract, through the colon, or through the skin. So drink those bitter herbs. They're going to make you salivate. They're going to go down into your system. They're going to cause certain things. They have certain chemicals in them that makes your stomach rumble, so they could stimulate your bowels. You know, it's called when your intestines contract, persistialis. When your intestines contract, and they contract and relax, so that they stimulate that muscle engagement, so that it pushes any kind of blockages or any kind of loose stool or biofilm, anything that's stuck up in here, it pushes it out the other side. Now, you're cleansing your colon, you're cleansing your intestines, you gotta cleanse your mouth. So, if you're feeling that sore throat, brush your teeth 3 times a day. 3 times a day is gonna help clear it out. On top of brushing your teeth 3 times a day, you're gonna do an oil pull with coconut oil. Preferably unrefined coconut oil. If it's refined, whatever, but it's better to do it with unrefined coconut oil, extra virgin coconut oil at that. Put that coconut oil into your mouth. You're going to swish it up for 10 to 15 minutes. If your jaw gets tired, just take a break, but try to swish it up the whole time. Gargle if you can without swallowing it, because what that coconut oil is going to do, after you just drank those bitter herbs, you start salivating. It starts pushing all the toxins out of your mouth. It pushes all those toxins out of your mouth, and the problem's right here. So we know there's toxins getting contained by the mucus right here, because your mucus is being produced to contain a contaminant or to contain a byproduct that the body can no longer clear on its own, so it has to kick it into high overdrive. It has to kick it into overtime. So instead of putting a simple 40 hours a week, we got to put in 50. Cool, you're going to assist the body. You're going to put that coconut oil in your mouth, about a half tablespoon to a tablespoon of coconut oil. You're going to leave it there. You're going to swish it around for 10 to 15 minutes. You're going to spit it out into a trash can. Don't clog up your sinks. Don't spit it out in the sink. It's going to clog the sink. When you do that, you're going to notice the coconut oil. If you've ever oil pulled before, you're going to notice the oil becomes more liquidy. It's going to get thick and liquidy. Actually, it's going to get thin and liquidy, but it's going to feel really mucky. You can always feel the toxins starting getting drawn out of your teeth and your gums. That's because all of these teeth have lymphatic endings to them. All of these teeth are connected to an organ system inside the body, and you can look this stuff up. And you're going to extract all of those toxins inside the body, and you're going to spit them out into the trash can. Now you just cleansed here and in your ass at the same time. That's a protocol that I came up with, and it works beautiful. You know, I tell my clients, to do those whenever they're feeling kind of like under the weather, like a little sore throat, or even like just oral health. You know, if I were a person that was dealing with any kind of skin cancer or cancer at all, we know that cancer is a metabolic issue. So we're trying to get toxins out any way that we can. If I was a person with gut biosis or leaky gut, I'm doing this as well. You know, I'm cleansing it, but with that, that's another story. But if you don't really want to do too much irritants of the gut, like something like Cáscara Sagrada, if you have a leaky gut, because that can damage it even more. You want to go for things like slippery elm. You want to go for things like marshmallow root. That's gonna coat the gut first. You got to repair the gut a little bit, and then you can come in and do what you need to with cleansing out your system. But that's besides the point. Make sure you brush your teeth 3 times a day. Yeah, like the dentist says. I'm a firm believer that if you have a fresh breath, you can have a fresh inside too. Digestion begins in the mouth. If you're feeling a sickness in here, it started in your mouth. So let's clean the mouth and let's clean the colon, because whatever you ate ended up down there. We gotta clean it out. Full sweep. Full sweep. No? Coconut oil. Brush your teeth 2 times in the morning. Wet brush, use toothpaste. At night, use toothpaste. Sometime in the evening, after you eat, if you're eating, even these citrus fruits, they could break down your teeth, they could get stuck, they could corrode it. Dry brush it. Just dry brush. You could wet the brush if you want to. You could just go in there and use your saliva, but it's almost like dry brushing your skin. You know that if you dry brush your skin, it increases circulation. It draws toxins to the lymphatic capillaries. That's only like a couple centimeters, like 1 to 3 centimeters away from the surface of the skin. So it's very close. Same thing with the teeth. The teeth has lymphatic ducts, and I shouldn't say ducts, but lymphatic capillaries. Lymphatic vessels all throughout the mouth. And we're gonna try to cleanse the digestive system completely. That alone should knock out any kind of cold, any kind of sore throat. And you'll start really feeling recovery. But you have to make sure that you're limiting the things that were making you feel this sickness in the first place. Because the sickness, remember, isn't sickness. If you can do sickness, you can do healthiness. And then nobody talks about healthiness, because it doesn't exist. The issue is you're trying to clear something out and you have an overabundance of it, or you don't have enough of something. Most people, they're lacking zinc. Zinc is essential for immune function. Most people, they're lacking iodine. Iodine, essential for immune function. Essential for your thyroid. We're lacking hydration. We're not hydrated. So we're coagulated and we're holding on to more and more of these toxins. You need to stop. Close your mouth. Be thankful. Stay away from stress. And drink more water. You drink more water, you're not going to have to be around stress. You're going to be too concerned just going to the bathroom. On that colon cleanse, though, and you take something like Cascara Sagrada, make sure there's not too many people around, because you're going to have to go to the bathroom. And if everybody takes Cascara Sagrada, everybody's going to have to go to the bathroom at the same time, and it's not going to be pretty. Senna is worse. Senna will really send you to the bathroom. Or if you take a castor oil pull, right? You drink some castor oil, some food grade castor oil, right? It'll send you to the bathroom. Make sure the bathroom is available. Make sure you don't have a busy schedule at work or something like that. Make sure you can get there. We don't want no accidents happening that'll make you not want to detox anymore, because that can happen. We had that happen with a couple of people. Yeah, that's my advice. Make sure you stay, healthy this Christmas, man. And all many Christmas to come. All these festivities, we're eating these foods and we have to clear them out. We've already been stressed out. The holidays is a stressful time. It's a happy time, but as an adult, it's a stressful time. So take care of yourself. Make sure you're doing the right thing. Make sure you're sleeping. Make sure you're drinking. Make sure you're not in a state of stress. Make sure you're getting some movement in, whether you're going to the gym, whether you're going to Pilates, whether you're going to yoga, or just going for some walks. Walking is some of the best things you can do. Moving your body so that your lymph can move. When you're walking, don't just stay still. Swing your arms so that your lymphatic system can move, because these right here, these are your lymphatic system. That is your immune system that they're talking about. This in here, that's your immune system. That is the glorified mystic immune system that doesn't even have an organ place. The lymph nodes is what they're talking about when they talk about the immune system. So make sure you use your God-given immunity to cleanse yourself. That way you can feel happy, you can celebrate your Christmas and not have to get sick with everybody else, because it happened with my family. You know, everybody went over, everybody came over, everybody had their festivities, and now everybody's sniffling. Why is everybody sniffling? You know? Alright, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go hit a workout. I'll see y'all another time. Peace.